Hey guys, alright, I'm going to try to do this video here, but I'm going to tell you it's kind of challenging at this particular moment because it is Saturday and I'm anchored and really nearby is, I call it the freeway. I mean, we're talking non-stop boats going back and forth, which is probably about 150 yards away. Now, anybody that has a boat will tell you 150 yards is not far enough away to stop the wakes that these boats put out. And of course, we have these guys with these triple-decker 50-foot trawlers that have decided that just because they can do 15 knots, they're going to do it. They're trawlers. Trawlers, you go 8 knots, 7 to 8 knots, somewhere around there, whole speed. Because if you go 10 to 15 knots, you're pushing a wave of water, which turns out to be like 3-foot, 3-foot waves that hit the side of your boat because, of course, the wind's blowing you sideways to the freeway. That's today. Good days is we're pointed towards the freeways. But, guys, it's really only Saturday and Sunday. It's not so bad the rest of the week, although this is Memorial Day weekend, which means that it's really going to be bad on Monday, really bad. But guys, I come across this video, and again, you'll see me swaying side by side, and I do want to tell you guys, quit getting on me about my background. I told you I bought a gutted boat, okay? This is going to be my studio right here, and this back part is the first part that I'm going to rebuild, only because I want to look good. See, now here I go. See, if you look at there, oh, that was a good one. Now we got to hang on here. Oh, move my coffee away from the computer. Yeah, this will happen. Oh, yep, that was a triple-decker. I'm going to guarantee you. Trust me, I'm getting a slip as soon as I can find one. I'm going to tell you right now, in Florida, slips are really hard to find. But that's not here and there, and that's enough about me and my boat, even though I really like my boat. Let's get on with the story. Facebook, Google, Twitter, well, of course, Google counts in too. All of the big tech companies, and by the way, this is including Amazon. Did you know that Amazon is out to buy MGM? Yes, MGM, the movie-making company. Remember, he owns right now, I believe it's the Washington Post. He's got his guys, the man is purchasing media like it's going out of style. And it could possibly be because if you own the media, you own the narrative. And he may have his own narrative that he wants to put out. That's Jeff Bezos with Amazon. And, of course, as you know, he just left Amazon. And he lost a bid, yes, against SpaceX. And he's not in with the government at all. It was like a $10 billion bid. He lost it. He went to his representative, and believe it or not, they're thinking about offering him a second contract. Even though SpaceX won the first one, Elon Musk, okay? A second contract for $10 million, or $10 billion, billion dollars. No, Jeff's not in with them. Nah, not at all. I'll tell you this. With all of the media that he's purchasing, I can see why they want to try to keep him happy. But anyways, no, really, Facebook is Google, all of the big tech, they're neutral. They'll tell you that they're neutral. They're just looking out for your and my best interest. They're not the Ministry of Truth. There is no such thing as a Ministry of Truth in the United States or in the world at this particular time, unless, of course, you take a look at what you can post and what you can't post. And anyways, Facebook has decided, and this is good, to resume political donations, excluding, man, they got a list of people that they don't want to get it, excluding Republican members of Congress like Ted Cruz, Josh Hawley, Jim Jordan, and Steve Scalise. Now, this article goes on about because of the vote that they did when it came to the January and the vote about ratifying or certifying the election. So they go through all of that. But really, that's not what it is. What it is these people here, Josh Hawley, Jim Jordan, Steve Scalise, Cruz, all of them are not with the program. They're not with the establishment, the Republican establishment. And by the way, I want you to notice something, because a lot of people will say it's because they support the big T. You know who I'm talking about, the big T, the huge guy. He's huge. I'm going to call him Big T. But they support Big T. But you see, that can't really be it, could it? Because it appears as if Lindsey Graham supports the Big T, doesn't he? At least that's how he appears. And yet he is never targeted at all, ever, by the media. It makes one wonder about Lindsey Graham. Yes, he fights so hard he fights for you. He fights for me. He does strongly worded letters that just terrorize the Democrats. That's right. I'm doing my Lindsey Graham. The social media giants say it will no longer give donations to political candidates who voted against certifying the 2020 election. Anyways, let's continue. As a result of our review, the FBPAC board, this is their oversight board that reviews or double checks whenever they censor or get rid of somebody or basically deplatform them from Facebook. Now, this is an actual quote from the man that's in charge, okay? His name is Brian Rice. He told employees, while a contribution to a candidate for office does not mean that we agree with every policy or position that a candidate may espouse, we believe the decision is appropriate given the unprecedented events in January. Actually, it's not unprecedented. It happened several years earlier. January 6th wasn't the first time that it occurred. Look it up. After our last announcement, some of you asked, why do we have a PAC at all? He continued, ultimately, public policy decisions can have significant implications for our business, our employees, and the people who use our products and services. We administer a PAC to allow eligible employees to voluntarily pool their money to support federal candidates who share Facebook business mission. Wow, what do we add here? Federal candidates. Now remember, this is employees, okay, so they should be able to decide who they want to give their money to. Federal employees to voluntarily pool their money to support federal candidates who share Facebook's business mission. In other words, candidates that agree with Facebook. And I'm going to tell you right now, that list of people that they've got, well, you can't really say deplatformed, de-donated, okay, de-donated. None of those are really for the whole Facebook program, are they? Notably, Facebook intervened on its own during the 2020 presidential election, ignoring stories about, Biden and, anyways. In my 9 years in the Senate, I've received $2.6 million in contributions from corporate political action committees, he wrote in an op-ed for the Wall Street Journal. Starting today, I no longer accept money from any corporate PAC. I urge my GOP colleagues at all levels to do the same. This is according to Cruz. This is what Cruz said. Now, look, I'm going to tell you how politicians do this, okay? Because if you look at the Democrats when they were running for president, Elizabeth Warren, I believe it was Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders, I'm not taking a dime from a PAC, not a pin. Well, as things heated up, and they were running for office, they started taking that PAC money. You start talking 10 million, 15 million, it talks, and people begin to walk. Yeah, well, we'll see, Cruz, okay? Just because you're a Republican doesn't mean that you do what you say you're going to do. All right, guys, I want to let you all know that this is really fair of them. They're not political, these organizations, in any way whatsoever. They're just looking out for you and me. And I just wanted to let you know how much Facebook's protecting you, protecting the public from themselves. I got another video coming up here real shortly.